Once upon a time, the food court was one of the most frightening and intimidating places that I could be in. This is the sound of the food court where I threw up and collapsed 7 years ago. I still remember the pained look on my mother's face as she frantically force-fed her teenage daughter orange juice from the nearest candy store. The last thing I remember is being wheelchaired by complete strangers to the doctor downstairs. My name is Nazli. When I was 15, I battled the beast that is an eating disorder. Today, I woke up a healthy, happy 22-year-old. But of the 9% of Australians who have an eating disorder, 1 in 10 never wake up again. I know firsthand just how little is done to help people like me in Australia. It was like everyone around me knew what was going on, but gave it a blind eye. The only help I did get was being referred to the school counsellor and then a dietitian. That was it. No question of how I was feeling inside, despite the fact that eating disorders are a mental illness. So I fought alone for a long, long time. In my own city of Brisbane, the Centre for Integrative Health was set up 2 years ago. It was founded by Dr. Kira Buchanan. Kira is a clinical and health psychologist. She directs the centre. Frustrated by the current healthcare system, she decided something needed to be done.
What we've been particularly passionate about is trying to educate people around how eating disorders are like a physical, medical health condition as well as a mental and emotional condition as well. So practitioners need to, but often don't, have an understanding of what's going on for the person from a physical, medical perspective, as well as what's going on for them psychologically, and the two components needing to be addressed.
For me, seeing a dietitian helped get my physical health back on track, but my family had to pay for every cent. I think that's unfair. If it were up to me, I wouldn't be there to begin with. Dietitian Kate Pollard from the Centre for Integrative Health understands.
They may be able to have access to an enhanced primary care plan, which means that they can have a very small rebate for a maximum of 5 sessions. And not all of my clients or their doctors are aware that they're able to be eligible for that.
I can tell you that an eating disorder is a truly complex mental illness. Maybe that's why I felt like no one around me understood.
There's still lots of myths and misconceptions about an eating disorder, that it's, something that people will grow out of, or it's something that they're doing for attention. So I suppose what I'm saying is they're quite complicated, and the complexity of them isn't really well understood by the general public or by even a lot of health practitioners.
This is why I think it's just so important to treat people early and properly. I suffered depression, anxiety, and obsessive-compulsive disorder for years after the physical side effects were gone. I shouldn't have had to. I finally decided myself to see someone a couple of years ago. I'm just lucky to be seeing the light now.
I definitely think that eating disorders should be like a specialised area of treatment. So you should need to have specialist training in order to be able to deliver treatment to someone with an eating disorder, because lots of people with an eating disorder might not get the right treatment and their condition is worsened or is maintained for much longer than what it needs to be.
When I sought help with a psychologist, I was granted cover by Medicare. At the time, mental health sessions could be covered for 6 to 18 sessions. I was lucky. It's not like that anymore. Now there is a flat-out 10-session rule. It doesn't matter who you are or what you're suffering from. Marita Cooper, psychologist at the Centre for Integrative Health, can see that this is a problem.
It's not enough. Our typical course of treatment for bulimia or binge eating disorder is a minimum of 20 sessions. Depending on the extra factors, it could be up to 40 sessions. And when we're looking at anorexia, we've got a minimum 6-month, but often 12-month course of treatment.
I think there's hope. The first ever World Eating Disorders Action Day is happening tomorrow. The Butterfly Foundation for People with Eating Disorders is currently running its May Day campaign, And then there's people like Kira, Kate, and Marita, who are beacons of hope. But it's a game of snakes and ladders. It was announced recently that funding for the Butterfly Foundation is only secured for another year. They run the only national hotline for people with eating disorders in Australia. I just hope that won't be the case.